Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is the Manchester United versus Liverpool combined 11. Ooh! And I don't know why I did that noise, but I wanted it to be a little bit more exciting because the reality is it's going to be controversial. It's going to be controversial. I'm sure we're going to get some Liverpool fans on here as well. There was a controversial combined 11 that was released by Danny Mills the other day. And you know what I would just say about Danny Mills before we start, to be fair? If you hold your nose, it's impossible to hum, right? Danny Mills can talk even if you put his head in a bath. Look, I'm not saying don't put Danny Mills' head in a bath and try this, but you can still talk clearly because he talks out of his arse. 11 Liverpool players in a combined 11 is what Danny Mills did. And whilst I can understand that Liverpool will probably dominate a combined 11, I'm wearing a 1999 t-shirt here. And thinking through history, certainly Premier League history, has there ever been a time where you would say United versus Liverpool is totally dominated by one side? Well, never from a Liverpool point of view. They haven't won a Premier League title yet. They've won a couple of European Cups. I'm not saying that Liverpool are a bad side. I'm just saying that they would never have a team that would have all 11 players in it. But thinking through United's history, I actually think there's only one occasion where you could argue that United would have a clean sweep of 11 players, and that is 1999, because we won a treble and it was a very good team. Gerrard was a little bit younger in 99. I think he did play against us. Paul Ince was a good player for them, but no, we'd sold him. Even in 08, when we nearly won the treble again, I wouldn't say we had a clean sweep because Liverpool did have a very much in his prime Gerrard then. So to say that Liverpool have clean sweeped Manchester United in 2019, when all they've done, and it's a significant all, is nearly win a title, and obviously they win the Champions League. Of course they're going to have a lot of players, but a clean sweep is just the typical modern sensationalist nonsense that you get when people who in the media try to make out that now is better than the past. And the reality is, for me, it's not a clean sweep. And also, what I would say is, it's subjective. I nearly did this with the Red Men, but I thought, well, they're going to stick to their guns on certain players, and I'm going to stick to my guns. And I think combined 11s actually work best when it's just me and you lot getting your comments in, because that's what this channel's all about. So whether you're Liverpool or United, let's crack on with it. This is the combined 11 that I truly believe in, remembering that I'm a Manchester United fan, but also remembering I realise we're shit. So in goal, it's David De Gea. I totally understand that Liverpool fans are going to say we're happy with Alisson. Alisson's better than De Gea. But as a Manchester United fan, I would be massively, massively underselling my goalkeeper to allow him to be not in a combined 11. David De Gea, over the last 6 years, has definitely been the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. He had a bit of a dodgy season last season, and Alisson had a very good season last season. However, if you're asking me what goalkeeper I want in a combined 11, I'm going to go David De Gea. Yeah, Alisson's got better ball distribution, but for me, David De Gea is the better goalkeeper. And last year, because of our football club, he went through a very difficult year where his future was uncertain, and that definitely affected him. This season, I think we're starting to see the best De Gea, and that's the best goalkeeper in the league for me. So De Gea is in goal. I get what Liverpool fans will say. I understand that you wouldn't swap Alisson for the world, but I wouldn't swap De Gea either. And this is my combined 11, so that's that. If you don't like that one, you're going to absolutely love this one. For me, Wan-Bissaka is the right back. Now, again, I can hear everyone going, you're mad, you're mad. Even some United fans will say, you're mad, Trent Alexander-Arnold's better. What I would say is that we are in an unfortunate situation with England, but also a very good situation, because in Wan-Bissaka and Trent Alexander-Arnold, you've got the two best right backs in the league. In Wan-Bissaka and Trent Alexander-Arnold, you have got two players that I absolutely think are fantastic. And I don't like saying it's about Liverpool players, but looking at it from a footballing point of view, I think going forward, his ball delivery is comfortably the best in Europe as a right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. But for me, if you're asking me, what did I prefer about Gary Neville, his defensive capabilities or his ability to overlap and whip a cross in? Every single day of the week, it's the defensive capabilities, because that's what a right back's there for. There's no point having a right back who can get forward and put a cross in if they can't deal with a decent, tricky left winger. And that is where Wan-Bissaka, to me, is more important, because he's a better defensive right back than Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think both of them need to work on those things. Wan-Bissaka going forward, Trent Alexander as a defender. For me, yes, it is a little bit biased because he's a Manchester United player, but a right back should be able to defend, and I don't think there's a better right back defensively in the Premier League at the moment. So it's Wan-Bissaka. And again, I get that Liverpool fans are going to say Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I totally get that. You're going to go with your boy. But I'm going to go with mine. And defensively, I truly believe he's the best right back in the league. So I'm going to go with Wan-Bissaka with that one. It doesn't stay negative for long for Liverpool fans. You do start to get more players, don't worry. Van Dijk, I mean, what can you say about Virgil van Dijk? He's the Dutch Chris Smalling is what I said when he signed from Southampton. And this just shows that we can all be wrong. But in Van Dijk, you've got the world's best centre-back. I think last season I said he's in the top 5. I think this season he is the best centre-back in the world. A fantastic centre-back. And when you've got a centre-back like that, you haven't got many problems. He reads the game, he leads the game, he's quick, he's good in the air, he's good on the ball. He's the complete centre-back. And I don't want to go on about Van Dijk for too long because I don't think I need to. I think he's fantastic. Maguire comes in here. Look, again, Liverpool fans are going to be going, Matip's better than Maguire. Joe Gomez is better than Maguire. And they'll even try the Lovren's better. I would hope that you wouldn't do that, Liverpool fans. But again, Harry Maguire is being tainted by a very large transfer fee and the fact that United have had a bad start to the season. None of which are his fault. It's not his fault he cost 80 million. It's not his fault that United have had a bad start to the season. If you look at the goals that United have conceded this season, there has been individual errors. You think back to the Palace game, that was Lindelof's fault. You think back to the Southampton goal, that was Lindelof's fault. You think back to some of the goals we've conceded, like the Wolves goal was from midfield. Harry Maguire has not been culpable, in relation to any of Manchester United's goals this season. But more importantly, he's had a good start. He's been very good in the air. He's been very good at bringing the ball out from the back. And on top of that, over the last season or two at Leicester and for England, he's not put a foot wrong either. He's a very, very, very good centre-back who has proven himself worthy of that cause. So again, I don't dispute that Matip's a good defender, and I don't dispute that Joe Gomez has got the potential to be a very good defender. But for me, Harry Maguire is in there. And again, we've picked 4 players, and I've got 3 players in there of United, and I truly believe that they should be there. And this is what I'm on about, Danny Mills and his clean sweep for Liverpool. Well, you can do it that way, or you can actually look at it honestly and go, just because a team's shit, does that mean that everybody in it is shit? And for me, I'm comfortable with that team I've got. I will have to start being honest, will continue to be honest as well, where we go from here. Andy Robertson straight away in at left back. Look, whatever I think about Luke Shaw, Andy Robertson arguably is the best left back in Europe. Gets forward, he is, unlike Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think defensively he's, a lot better, but going forward, that ball delivery, best left back in the league. I can't argue with it. I cannot argue with that, and I won't argue with it. And I won't argue with this one either, Fabinho. This is a player at Manchester United. I wanted him 3 years. We were talking about him before he went to Liverpool. I'm not going to flip-flop. I wanted him over Matic that summer. He went to Liverpool the following year. We got Matic the year before. Fabinho was a player that I remember when he was playing right back for Monaco, and we were talking about it and saying he can play CDM, he can play centre-back. Fantastic player. Absolutely fantastic player. And I don't care whether we had Thomas Partey in the summer, whether we actually bought midfielders in the summer, I would still go Fabinho. I think he's a brilliant CDM and a fantastic guy for Liverpool. So Fabinho, I can't speak highly enough about him. And this one I struggled a little bit with. I nearly went Jordan Henderson, but I've gone with Wijnaldum because if you do know a little, look, you can be. I don't think Liverpool fans spend much time watching Manchester United at the moment. You've got a team that's challenging for titles, winning European trophies. You're entertained. Why would you have cold beans on toast for dinner when you can have a Big Mac and chips every night? You're being spoilt with good football, and we had that for many, many years. But I do watch some Liverpool games because I like football. I don't really like watching Liverpool win, but I do like watching football. And in Wijnaldum, I think you've got a player. And Liverpool fans might correct me on this, but when I've seen him, he reminds me a lot of Herrera. Not in the way he plays, but just in the way how important he is to the Liverpool team. And Herrera was massively important to United, but probably didn't get the headlines that much. Even some United fans didn't appreciate him. But I think in Wijnaldum, you've got that consistency in that midfield, that box-to-box ability, that physicality. He can score a goal. He's creative as well. I put Wijnaldum in there just over Jordan Henderson because I think Jordan Henderson's done very well for Liverpool. I'm not going to deny that. Jordan Henderson's done very well and he deserves the plaudits that he now gets. However, I just think that what Henderson brings to Liverpool is that leadership. But this team that we're building here, it's already got Van Dijk in it. It's already got Maguire in it. Does it need another captain in it? I would go Wijnaldum personally. And then this one, I mean, the one thing I would say about that combined 11 that Danny Mills put out there is that the 11's clean sweep for Liverpool. And I thought, look, there's an argument to be had with De Gea. There's an argument to be had with Maguire. There's an argument to be had with Wan-Bissaka. They're close battles. Alisson against De Gea, Wan-Bissaka against Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Maguire against Matip. They're close battles. Liverpool fans are going to say Liverpool players. But with regards to Pogba, not putting Pogba in a midfield three for Liverpool is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And you are doing it on being controversial and hating on Paul Pogba. Because as a United fan, he's been very inconsistent in a United shirt. I agree with that. But when he's in the right team and the right setup, he's unplayable. And a lot of Pogba's inconsistency comes down to the lack of quality around him and most oppositions knowing that if you suppress Pogba, you suppress United. And I just wonder, people say, what would Pogba do in a Pep team? I think the more important question is, what would Pogba do in a Klopp team? Because Klopp's not Pep and Pep's not Klopp. One's got hair and one has not. But no, seriously, that was good, wasn't it? Pogba with Klopp, if anyone can get the best out of Pogba, it would be Klopp. Because Klopp, whilst he has the footballing philosophy, he's not overly obsessed about it like Pep is. You know, Klopp has also got the understanding of people, the understanding of passion, and I think he would get the best out of Paul Pogba. And I think then you would probably not have an inconsistent Paul Pogba. You'd probably get the best out of Pogba. And the best Paul Pogba walks into any midfield in most world football teams, certainly into a Liverpool midfield. If you're telling me that you'd rather go with Fabinho, Henderson and Wijnaldum over putting Paul Pogba in there, you're drunk. You're drunk. Like, you really are drunk. You're stupid. You are. Like, because I know, I get the criticism with Pogba. Oh, God, I've seen them myself over the last 3 years. But no way does he not get into that team. No way in a million years. So, you know, I know Liverpool want to have their clean sweep and everything like that. And I'm sure some of you will be arguing, I'd take Henderson and Wijnaldum every day of the week. Well, that's just loyalty beyond stupidity. Because Paul Pogba would go into your midfield, and you know it. And you know it because you know you'd love to see what Pogba would get out of playing for Liverpool with Klopp and what Klopp would get out of him. And he would enhance your midfield. I mean, imagine Paul Pogba in a midfield with Fabinho and Wijnaldum. Two players with him who are going to do a lot of work to get the ball to him, to win the ball back for him. It would be immense in that. And not only that, with a left back next to him like Robertson and a back four like that behind him. And even more so, not only that, with a player like this to his left-hand side in Mane, you'd get the best out of Paul Pogba. So moving into the front three, down that left-hand side, yeah, we've bought Dan James. Yes, Rashford can play there. Yes, Martial can play there. But let's get, you know, let's continue to keep this serious. No way, does Mane not get in the team. I can't argue, I can't pretend, I can't even banter to put anybody forward because there is just no way Mane doesn't get in that team. And similarly with that, look, many Liverpool fans would say that Mane is better than Salah, but Salah walks into it. I mean, we don't even have... If at least with Dan James and Rashford and Martial on the left-hand side, I could try and say, on their day, I'd take them over Mane. I'd be lying, but I could try it. With the right-hand side, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do on that right-hand side? Well, Pereira could do it, or Mata, or Lingard. I mean, no. Like, I'd like to offer some competition for Salah. I mean, like, at least if you're doing an Arsenal-Liverpool combined 11, I'd still go for Salah over Pepe. But Arsenal fans would be like, Pepe's the best player in the world. He's brilliant, la la la. You still lose it. But from a United point of view, and I'm not even bantering Arsenal there, because we can't even offer anybody on the right-hand side. So for Salah, he can turn up with the flu. You know, he can turn up with a broken leg and he still would get that spot. So Salah, Mane, no arguments about it. When you look at Liverpool, there are certain players in their team that you can't remove. You can't go head to head with them. Like Robertson at left back, Van Dijk at centre back, Fabinho at CDM. I think even Wijnaldum in the midfield, and certainly Salah and Mane. You cannot even begin to argue a player into those positions because they are elite in their position. They've got. For me, Liverpool have got 5 world-class players in that side. United haven't really got any. De Gea is world-class, I think that. Pogba can be world-class, but they're not consistently world-class at the moment like those players are. So, no argument with that. And then number 9, it's got to be Anthony Martial, hasn't it? No, it is going to be Firmino. And I think there was a case. I was going to push the envelope a little bit. I was going to say, I'm going with Martial. And I think Martial, if Martial could stay fit and have a season like I think he can, maybe next year we could say I would take Martial over Firmino. But at the moment, it's a flawed argument because Martial's not really been playing as a number 9. He's played 3 games as a number 9 this season, and I thought he was fantastic. And I certainly think if Liverpool fans probably wouldn't give us an inch at the moment, but actually if Firmino was gone with a cruciate ligament for 2 years or whatever, dropping Martial into that team, I don't think it weakens it. I think it makes it a very, very good team. So they are 2 options. They're 2 very good options, and Martial has been brilliant in the number 9 position this season. But he's only played it this season, and 3 games is not good enough compared to the couple of seasons that Firmino's been giving at the highest level for Liverpool. So of course it's got to be Firmino. I can't argue with that. I'd like to argue with it. I think Martial's got the potential to be one of the best number 9s in the league, but at the moment you can't. And also the fluidity of that front 3. Why would you break it up on a risk? So yeah, no arguments with that at all. And when I look at that team as a whole, and obviously Klopp would be the manager, not Ollie. Not even going to try and pretend that Ollie should be at the wheel of that. No way. He shouldn't even be in the same bloody postcode. It would be Klopp as the manager. But when I look at that team, and you look at the Liverpool team, is that team better than Liverpool's team? And I think it is. I do. I think that's a better team. I think Liverpool quite rightly wouldn't want Wan-Bissaka. They'd want Trent Alexander-Arnold because of what he gives them going forward. And I think actually as a collective team, you probably would look at it and go, it probably does need Trent Alexander-Arnold because it doesn't need to be defensive. The midfield's better than Liverpool's midfield, definitely. And I think that Maguire and Van Dijk would be a very good centre-back pairing, and De Gea in goal. Yeah, I think Liverpool fans would say, no, we want Alisson because of his ball distribution. So, yeah, I can get that. But that's my combined 11. I think it's a very, very good combined 11. And I think that Danny Mills is speaking out of his arse. As I said, 1999 is the only year I would say that United clean sweep a combined 11, and they won a bloody treble. Even 2018 when we won the league and the Champions League, I wouldn't say that every United player gets in a combined 11 for that. Definitely Gerrard would get in. So, to clean sweep is just arrogance beyond. It's ridiculous. You've got to be an absolutely flawless team to be clean sweeping a combined 11 with the top 6 side. So, and I don't agree with that. Maybe in a year's time, maybe Liverpool retain the Champions League with this side and they win the Premier League. In a year's time, I might have to say, look, it's 2020. Liverpool have done what we did in 1999. They clean sweep it, but not yet. I think people are jumping the gun, and and look, as I said, there are some arguments to be had between De Gea and Alisson, Maguire and Matip, and certainly Wan-Bissaka and Trent Alexander-Arnold. And Liverpool fans will quite rightly claim them, and United fans, like I have done, would say no, not for me. But the Pogba walks into that midfield. I don't care what anybody says. That's the big one. Pogba does get into that midfield because it's not just about form. It's not just about, it's got to be about ability as well. And Paul Pogba fit in that midfield with those players around him every day of the week over Henderson. Every day of the week. If you want to get your 1999 t-shirts, links in the video description. We've got our full range of t-shirts out now. They're absolutely fantastic. Thanks everyone who has bought them. The biggest seller at the moment is the Adored one and the green and gold. But this one's doing quite well as well. So link in the video description. Get your t-shirts for the United Stand. And thanks everyone for watching. Please smash a like on the video.